The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Hello and welcome to Cowboys Storyline presented by Gillette. It's Wednesday, October 29th. I'm Nick Eatman. Let's talk some Cowboy football. They got a big game coming up this week. They're all big games at this point, right? I mean, every single game, depending on what you want to do, they're going to be big games. There's never not a big game. I guess I should just stop saying that because they're all important, especially when you're at this point in the season and you're not winning as many games as you want to. And it's kind of this up and down roller coaster that we've learned to live with here with the Cowboys. That this game's going to tell you everything of what this season's probably going to be. That's why I do think it may be bigger than most, because if you win against the Cardinals, it's not going to tell you that you are a playoff team. Lose to the Cardinals, and then I think it'll tell us that they're not. For sure, and then they're already on the outside looking in. But you know, just knowing what awaits them with the schedule and all that, I think this is a very, very big game. It's must win. If they don't win it, then it's probably, you know, you can just tell this is going to be a long season because these teams ahead of them are way better. The quarterbacks are way better than the ones you're going to face. So you got to take care of business at home. The good thing is the Cowboys have done that. They've been really good at home. They've scored a lot of points at home. So that's how you have to balance a defense that plays like this. You got to be really, really good on offense, and that's what we've seen, especially at home. All right, 888-855-2297 is the number to call, and let's start it off with Gary in New Mexico. Gary.
Hey, Nick.
How you doing?
Cowboy, I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm
so far, so good.
I'm doing good. Yeah, thank you.
All right, man. So back in the day, the Cowboys and the Cardinals used to play in some pretty big games. So
Sure.
Can you tell me the linebacker that once returned to kickoff 97 yards for a touchdown against the old St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, he was, I don't know where he was from, but it was like he was from Hollywood, you know, like Hollywood Henderson.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you: is that the play that he dunked it over the goalpost, or that was a different? You know, I don't.
No, the dunk over the goalpost. He first did that when he returned an interception, 77 yards for a touchdown against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he got famous for doing it. He did it in the NFC Championship over the Rams. He dunked on them. So.
Not a lot of linebackers are dunking on the goalpost. I'm not saying they can't, but yeah, different.
No, he was a special player, man. And you know, I've read a lot of I'm a big historical guy, so I read a lot of like autobiography. I've read every autobiography of all those old Cowboy players. Mm-hmm. By far, Thomas Henderson's autobiography is the most entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff in there that, I mean, he could not play today, and not because of talent, but because he would be suspended all the time.
Yeah.
But that dude, if he could, and you know, the good news on him is later on he straightened out his life and turned the corner. But if he could have made better choices as a young man, he would be in the Hall of Fame. He was that good.
Yeah.
But anyway, on to this year's team, which unfortunately is not that good. I was not surprised at all by the result in Denver because, you know, and the Cowboys' offense is good. But even the best offenses, when you go on the road and play elite defenses, they're going to struggle. And you're going to have to be able, if you're going to be a championship contender, you're going to have to win some games 17-13. And if you look at the Cowboys' Super Bowl years, you know, they got, you know, 17-13 wins, 16-10 wins. So the Cowboys just aren't there yet. And you got me thinking last week when we talked about this whole trade deadline deal, and you made some good points. And then I heard somebody on the radio last week talk about trading both ones and a two to get two all-pro players from other teams. I don't know what the realistic deal of that is. And then he said, then you build around that. My problem is if you trade away that much high capital, you don't have anything left to build around that.
Yeah.
And this defense, I mean, this is a tough situation. And the defense, I think, is so far off. My thought on this right now is that you just play out the season, let these young guys like Ezra Raku grow and develop, take all of those you take all your draft capital into the next year's draft. You re-sign George Pickens. You've got your offensive line starting to be rebuilt. Now you use that draft capital and you draft defensive players and you spend big in free agency and you try to overhaul the defense, because I don't think trading away high capital for one or two players is even, I don't even think it's going to help them in the long run. Now, the flip side of that is do you trust them to draft defensive personnel? And the track record the last few years is that they struggled drafting defensive players. So I don't know what to do. I just wish they would do something better. But I'll hang up and listen to your thoughts. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, Gary. What's funny is that all of the things that you said, I mean, it all makes sense. It's all one way to think of it. Some people don't agree, but, you can tweak some of the things. But then at the end, you're like, I don't know what to do. I just think they should do it better. And that kind of sums up everything about what this team is. And it's tough. I mean, what are the answers? I mean, we got questions. We just don't have any answers. And there's a lot of different ways to go. And I think by listening to some of that you said, that I kind of fall somewhere in between some of that. I do think that they should trade. They try to do something. Try to make a trade and do something, because for those that say they don't want them to do anything, they're going to want them to do something in free agency. Obviously, every year they do. And so this is kind of their way of doing something in free agency. You're just kind of getting ahead of the game. The problem, though, when you're trading away, like for instance, the Packers, you can sit there and say, well, yeah, we got Micah Parsons, so he's worth 2 first-round picks. True, but he's a lot more expensive than 2 first-round picks. And so that's the thing, when you're not expecting to pay a lot for those guys until maybe they get to their next contract. So that's kind of the difference between, if you trade somebody, you trade a first-round pick for a player and get this contract, you're not getting a high contract by even drafting them in the first round. So from a team with a salary cap, I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Cowboys aren't just trading first-round picks for talent. They don't have a ton of room on the salary cap to do that, and that's what you need. What you need to be a really good team is cheap superstars. That's what you need. When you get a quarterback that hasn't hit that contract yet and he's playing great like Jalen Hurts did or even Dak did early on, that's a cheap superstar, cheap quarterback. And then you can build them with other players. And so that's what you need. You need as many cheap superstars as you can, and it's hard to do that if you're trading away your picks. All right. I'm in Napa, California.
Hey, what's up, Nick? Good morning.
What's up?
Man, I'm always just excited to get on the line with you. You're
Appreciate
such a hard man to get a hold of. So give you a little bit of flowers. You're doing a great job, man. I listen, if I can't listen live, I always listen to the playback, and I always try to call in, but I limit my calls to maybe about 100 because I am at work. So I figure at about 100, it's like, early. All right, it's good now.
It's early over there. You get to work early. It's 8 o'clock in California.
Oh, I know, man. What is it? Early bird gets the worm, man.
There you go.
So you get it going early, you usually get out early. So that's my philosophy.
Okay.
I don't want to go back, so I'm going to just go forward. Been a bunch of talk about trading players. I mean, man, again, the flowers I want to give you is just like you deal with all of us fans and storyliners, like we're so emotional. Rob in Vegas, like one week he's all in after a win, like, yeah, we got to make these trades on defense. Next week he's like, horrible, there's nothing we can do to fix it. So again, just appreciate you and Chris just putting up with us all.
Well,
going forward,
I got something to say on that, but I'll say it after the call. But I thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. It's not always easy, but it's fun. And but I'll talk about that a little bit after your other point or question.
Yeah. My point is just really quick. I'm with you as far as like, man, at first I was like, let's not do anything. We should hold on. Our owner and our GM has already said we're building for the future. I know he said, we're always open for business, but he made it clear, trading Micah is your best player, possibly, or 1A best player, away to another team. And you look at it every week, it's like, man, somebody needs to affect the quarterback, get after him, push him, do something. And we're talking about that guy, and we traded him. So to me, it's like been back and forth about, do we pick up a player? Man, I don't know if we find that player, versus our draft picks and what's worth it and what's not. And how we're so banged up in the secondary. I'd like to see a trade for like a Minka Fitzpatrick or something like that, if we are going to do something. But I'm okay with, riding it out with the offense and seeing what happens. If we are going to ride it out with offense and not make any changes with defense, let's get it over quick, man. Let's get our offense a chance to get out there as much as possible, and let's blitz, and just bring it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to beat us, let them beat us, and then let our offense get out there and give them a chance, because there's no reason. It's so painful to watch 20-yard runs and these big pass plays where the quarterback just stands back there and is just not affected. It's like he's playing 7-on-7 with no pass rush. So,
all right,
yeah, Nick, I
right.
appreciate everything.
Thank
you and Chris are doing a great job. I got to send you some wine, man. You guys are great. Love you guys.
Thank you so much. All right, I love how he said from Napa he's got to send us some wine. I don't drink wine, but I know people that do. So
I do.
Thank you, Chris. I do. Yeah, you are kind of bougie like that. All right, blitzing early, blitzing late, scoring early. I mean, yeah, these are all things that you want to see this team do. I think getting a lead obviously, changes the course of the game. That's why it's so important that, you can say, well, it wouldn't have mattered if they got that touchdown early on. I disagree. I think it does change the flow of the game. And so I like having the ball to start the third quarter always. But, at this point, if they feel like getting the ball, if they win the toss Monday night, they're going to take the ball probably and go score and try to put the pressure on Arizona. And I don't know if I disagree with that. I know I like having the ball to start the third quarter, but I'm kind of good with whatever at this point. All right, Brian in Kansas City's next.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, Brian. How are you?
Doing good, man. I was thinking about, everybody's talking about trades, and, it makes sense. It's, there's only a week left before the deadline. So I was thinking, all the big, bold moves they've made over the years, obviously Haley and Deion Sanders are the biggest, right? And they paid off big time. But, there have been others, Joey Galloway, Roy Williams, Amari was a big one. They just didn't pay the same dividends. But, they've made a lot of those big, gigantic, swing for the fence moves. Yeah, sometimes they pay off and sometimes they don't. And you just got to live with the results if they don't pay off. But, those are the things that helped us in the 90s get over the hump. Those are the two moves that did it. Hey, I was thinking for a double agent this week, I was thinking a guy that revived his career, big Leonard Davis, may move from, it's kind of considered a bust on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And then, came over and played guard for us and, had, I don't know how many Pro Bowls in a row, but I mean, he hit like 2 or 3 Pro Bowls in a row playing guard for us. So figured you probably had a story on him other than, that's a guy that blocks a lot of light. But
yeah.
I'll listen to what you got to say off air, man. Take care.
Appreciate that. Thanks for the call, Brian. Leonard Davis. Leonard Davis is one of those guys, and I don't know how many there are. I have a couple examples, but I mean, he's one of those guys where he's so big and strong, and he played tackle in college, and so you get to the league, you're like, gotta have this guy, right? And we're gonna draft him 2nd overall or 3rd or 4th, whatever. These type of guys, and he's gonna have to play tackle because I mean that's how you justify it. And it doesn't really work out, and then it turns out he's really a guard. And I know you don't want to draft a guard 2nd overall like Arizona, but he's not a tackle. And it happens at the NBA all the time. They draft these guys 7, 8 overall, and they're really better coming off the bench. So you have to wait till that next wave, that next contract to really get the kind of player that they really are. Maybe they're not a superstar, but or maybe they're not, the premier position. And Leonard Davis, Robert Gallery is another guy from the Raiders. I think once they moved him to guard, it's like, this is where you're supposed to be. And then as it got later on, Quentin Nelson from the Colts, they just drafted him that high, and he's that good. And Zach Martin wasn't that high, but he was still drafted high like that. Booker as well. So it's fine to draft these guards. I think Leonard Davis is an example of that. The story that I would say is the time that, and I might have told this earlier when, now I forgot his name from, who's the guy we just saw from the Ukraine, big old defensive tackle. His name escapes me. I can't believe that. But we just saw him the other day, and he body slammed Leonard Davis into Jason Witten's ankle. They were kind of just messing around one day at training camp, and he just like, oh, you can't body slam me, and he did. He body slammed him right into Jason Witten's ankle. That wasn't such a good idea, but who's my guy here? Beam Igor Olshansky. That's who it was. Igor Olshansky. Guess Chris isn't working today. All right, Zach in Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Nick in Frisco?
What's up?
Man, what do we want to talk about today?
Punt return. I don't know.
Yeah, we could use some of those.
Yeah, we could use some punt returns in general. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how about just get off the field and actually have a punt return? That would be nice.
Yeah. Man, obviously you said at the top of the show the Cardinals game is going to kind of be a big turning point for us. Have to win if we consider any sort of trades. But I'm still holding my breath. I'm on record saying I like Shoddy. But with the rookie head coach, I mean, if there's any sort of wild card run to be made, how's he going to navigate that? Obviously, Flus, even if we get a couple pieces in there, there's so many question marks. We're all navigating this roller coaster together, and that's what I like about Storyline. I feel validated in a lot of my frustrations. But, double agent for the week, piggybacking off of Brian in Kansas City. Can you take us back to the Emmitt Smith game when he returned to Dallas and when they played? And that's all I got, man. Take care.
All right. Man, I have a story, but I can't tell it. That's what sucks. I have a story about that game, and that's kind of a tease. I'm sorry, but that no, it's definitely not one for the air. But man, that game that was just weird. You know, I mean, there's no color that stands out more for for the Cowboys than red. You know, I mean, you ever seen a red Cowboys shirt? I mean, it really doesn't happen unless we get one of those college teams that wants to have those three guys on the side signaling plays, in some weird colors, which is kind of stupid to me, but whatever. But Emmitt Smith wearing red it wasn't right. It didn't feel good, and he I don't have a whole lot of stories where he didn't play long. I mean, he got knocked out of the game quickly, and I'm not saying he begged out of the game, but I think he was okay with it. I don't think he was comfortable with that whole situation and maybe that whole season. But he had a record to pad, and he did. He certainly did, and he got it so far out there that nobody's ever gonna get it, gonna touch that. And that was important to him. It always was, and so that's fine. I really don't have a lot of story. I don't remember much about that game except for maybe is that the game they had two safeties? I think the Cowboys had two safeties in that game, like Leroy Glover and I don't know, Kenyon Coleman or somebody had a couple of safeties. I mean, that'd be the last time they had two safeties in the same game. I could be thinking of a different game, but it was a one-sided game. There was a story was Emmitt, and he didn't play much, and the Cowboys were able to win the game. Maybe even a flea flicker. Now that I'm starting to think about that, maybe a long touchdown to Terry Glenn. That might have been, maybe not. Anyways, all right, let's keep going. Steve in New York.
Hey, Nick, what's up?
How are you doing?
You're exactly right about that game. Two safeties.
Was there two safeties?
Leroy Glover and Kenyon Coleman, who played for us for a little while.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't remember the score of that game. What was the score, Steve?
Yeah.
You remember the score?
Oh, God, man. You know what? 20. It was one-sided. I know that. I just remember Emmitt getting hammered by Roy Williams. And
Yeah.
that was, I actually felt bad. I really did.
Yeah.
And once a player leaves the Cowboys, that's it. But that's one of the games I was like, oh, man, I hope he doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And he didn't. So November 4th can't come and go quick enough for me because
I'm with you.
I read this stuff on Twitter. I do. And all the trades, the Twitter GMs, I get it. The latest one is trading one of our wide receivers. I don't know if you've seen that one going around. Here's the thing, and I know you don't agree with me, but I'm one who wants to kind of stand pat. I don't want to do anything. I think we are where we are right now because of questionable drafting. We want to get players that I think we could have gotten in the draft, but we've had some misses. And everybody, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Everybody gives us credit when we make the good picks. And listen, we've taken for granted the offensive line because we have – how many did we hit one after the other?
Yeah, 3.
On the offensive line, right?
Yeah.
Now it got a little bit, where, then you got to remember, we need defensive help. Okay, it was Tristan Hill. There were guys who you look back and you're like, wow, there was some misses. So that's why I want to stand pat, but at the same time, you want to say, well, keep the draft picks. Well, look at the recent drafts that we've had. So that's where I think it gets a little kind of a contradiction. Do you follow what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm kind of looking at, anything past the 3rd round is kind of a crapshoot to me. So, I mean, to say, oh, you whiffed on the 4th round or 5th round pick, I mean,
right.
But I'm looking at the defensive players drafted in the first 3 rounds last few years. Ezeraku, we'll see. Revel, we'll see. And then Nealon and Leafau, okay. Mozzie Smith, overshown. Okay. Yeah. And Sam Williams. And then Kelvin Joseph, Osa, Chauncey Golston, Nashawn Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I did skip over one player drafted. Micah Parsons. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. How's he doing?
Yeah. Well, also the guy, because I remember things. The guy who, not too many. I'll say not too many. A lot of people were not thrilled about that pick because there were 2 cornerbacks, if you remember. People forget that though, but
And the Cowboys have lost to both of them in the last 3 weeks.
I know.
J.C. Horn and Surtain. Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. Real quick on the trivia. I live in New York, obviously. I go down to Dallas a lot. 2014, I go down there. Excellent year for the Cowboys.
Sure.
But Romo was out that game against the Cardinals. They lost. But early in the game, I think it was Carson Palmer was the quarterback.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Anyway.
Sounds about right.
I'm on the other side of the field. He throws a pick six, and the place is going nuts. And everyone's cheering. The guy next to me says, "Who was that?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." And it wasn't Brandon Carr. It wasn't, Anyway, the guy who picked it off for a touchdown was the only career interception he had.
2014, Tyler Patman?
Wow, you're good.
Is that Tyler Patman?
Tyler Patman.
I do remember.
Wow.
What else I remember about Tyler Patman is Des Bryant thought he could throw some punches at practice one day, and they got into it. And I don't know what Tyler Patman is doing now, but he could be in the ring somewhere. I mean, he's got some hands.
That was him. That was the guy.
Pretty sure Tyler Patman. Yeah, and Des got into it, and I think Des kept his helmet on there. So. Patman. But he did, he had that pick six. I guess that was early in the game. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And then the game was done after that.
Yeah.
It was 7-0, the place was going nuts, and it was absolutely done. Brandon Whedon was, I'm pretty sure Brandon Whedon was our quarterback. Yeah. Nick, great show, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. All right, I'm getting a little chatty today. It's probably my fault. We're only at 5 calls. I got to take a break, see if we can kind of pick up the pace when we come back.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Gillette's best shave is now available in Cowboys colors, 50% longer lasting blades. Infusion, the new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor, is available at gillette.com/NFL. Okay, let's keep it going here. Dylan in Wichita Falls. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, Nick, what's going on?
How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. All things considered from Sunday, but trying to stay positive somewhat, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's all you can. Yeah, that's all you can be.
Yep.
I haven't been to Wichita Falls in a while. I need to get back there. Maybe if
how long has it been?
A couple years, maybe. Maybe if my alumni would actually have a good product on the field or the court, I might get into a game. I know how it goes, guys. Yeah. Anyways, what do you got, Dylan?
I haven't been able to listen live, so if I'm repeating something, I apologize. But I just wanted to respond. I think it was Dylan from Florida asked, what are the bones to our defense? Are there any bones to our defense? And I just want to say, yeah, there are. Like, we have a three-headed monster in our defensive tackle room. I mean, Deron Bland is still on the team. And, I mean, we haven't seen him play all year since last year, but Overshown too. You know, these are legit pieces on our defense. You know, it just hasn't gelled together.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I'd add is, you know, it's easy for us to call for Eberflus's head after what we've seen. And I know some fundamental things have been missing, but I think that's just too convenient of an answer because, I mean, I think the front office, when they let go of Jordan Lewis, I think it hurt us a lot more than they thought it would. And we just need to build around some of these pieces we already have. And I just don't know if going out and getting a new coordinator is going to be the solution. Going out and hunting down a new coordinator, installing another defense for another year. I just think we should build around what we already have instead of scrapping it and throwing it away. I don't know. I just kind of want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, that's fair too. I mean, thanks for the call, Dylan. And you know, I was thinking about this just the other day. If you know, let's say that Eberflus is let go at some point. Maybe it's this year, maybe next year, whatever. You know, I mean, the narrative in a few years is going to be they got him in here. He comes in. He's like, I got some players now. You know, I got Micah Parsons. I got Trayvon Diggs. We just re-signed Osa. You know, we got some guys. You know, Overshown will be back. Deron Bland, we're gonna sign him. I got some dudes. Got veteran safeties, and it started obviously. And then they traded Mike away, and then Diggs never really played much, and the safeties all got hurt, and I got fired. You know, and it's more to it than that. But because I'm kind of, I don't want to be hypocritical here, but I'm just saying that's one side of it, like especially the Micah thing. You know, I come here, I'm installing a defense. Micah doesn't ever show up, never practices, never here. We're trying to figure out, is he going to be here? Is he not? They got to figure this out. Then they trade him, and now they got a bunch of pass rushers that are just okay. They're just average at best. So that's not really a fair narrative toward him. On the flip side, we've seen defenses that didn't have a lot of players, a lot of injuries and all that, and not as bad as this. They still figure out a way to kind of like, all right, well, let's piece this thing together, and at least we got an offense we could lean on and bend but don't break. But They break. That's the problem. This defense breaks. I mean, it bends and it breaks. That's what's bad about this defense. It's a bend and break defense. And I don't think I've ever said that before. All right. Rick in Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was thinking about this all day yesterday, reading stuff, especially from Patrick Nosey. I was thinking, as far as the safeties goes, I know we have 5 safeties that are hurt or whatever. We only got really one safety with Bell.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to use some of the corners to practice all week at safety. The other thing, too, is they're looking at the other 32 teams, their practice squads, see if they have any safeties we could pull or whatever, something like that, or trade for a safety. Those are the immediate 3 things they could do.
Yeah, and kind of hope to get some of these guys back. You know, I mean, Donovan Wilson should be getting back soon. Same with Wanye Thomas. Malik Hooker is available to start his window back. I mean, he could return, but I don't think he's there yet. So they're going to get some guys back. You're right about, they could still bring another safety in. The reason why I'm thanks for the call, Rick. Let's keep it going. But the reason why I think trading for a safety could make sense is that it's not just a problem for right now. I'd have to look at the contracts, but Donovan Wilson signed 3 years ago. Hooker signed 2 seasons ago, 3 years ago, really, 3 seasons ago. So both those guys, I don't know if they're going to be back next year. So I think it's an issue. Safety is an issue. So if you're going to, if you're trading for somebody that can come in and help immediately, and he's going to be here a couple years, I'm fine with that, because you're going to need some help at safety, and that's not a position typically that you love drafting in the first round. Now, some maybe Green Bay's pick or wherever you're picking, if there's a safety that's worth it. Sure, I wouldn't be against it, but I'm saying that you got to look at next year too, and safety might be a position that you're going to have a big need. All right, Alex in South Bay.
Hey, what's up, Nick? What's going on?
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Everything's good. I just want to touch on something that was brought up yesterday, because it's actually something I was thinking about. I was trying to get in to discuss it. Someone had mentioned about no punting, and I kind of agree with that to an extent, because I want to focus on special teams. When Bones was here, every time Anger trotted out to the field, I stayed glued to my TV, because there was a 50-50 chance that Bones might come up with a play to get those 5 yards or whatever it was, 4th and whatever. Now when Anger trots out there, I can go get a soda. I can go to the restroom. I know it's going to be a punt. What do you think about that? Is that something that needs to be, I don't know about implemented, because I don't even know who the special teams coordinator is, but is that something that you kind of look at like, yeah, that could be an issue? Or not an issue, but just something that should be looked at?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I don't think the special teams has been as dynamic at all. You don't even know his name, right? So
I don't even know his name.
Yeah, Nick Sorensen is his name, and he's got pretty much the same type of weapons already. Now Turpin hasn't been there. That's been a big miss when Turpin's not out there. I think. But they haven't got off the field. That's the problem. They don't get off the field for the punt return, because I think it's a difference. If you can get off the field and have him standing back there, I think he's a legit weapon. But that hasn't really happened as much.
Right, got you. All right, and then last thing, Nick, I wonder if Chris can hit me with the here we go, because once that started, I was never able to get one, so if I can get one of those, then I'll get off the line. Have a good day.
Here we go.
You ask, you receive. All right, let's keep it going. Dr. Sunshine in Fort Worth is next.
Good morning, Nick.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Nick. Just talked to you last night, but I wanted to call you today and with a thought-provoking question. We know we can commiserate about this season as much as we can, and then after a while, it'd be nice to think about something in the past. So I want to throw a question at you, okay?
Okay.
A fantasy team of all Cowboy players from the beginning of the franchise. I go back to I'm one of the few people that remember Eddie LeBaron, watching him on TV. But if you could put together a fantasy team and I don't mean like fantasy like we play on the internet, but where you had one player throughout the history at each position, and you could only have one quarterback, one right guard, and pick the 12 players. And it might be fun for your storyline backers to participate too, to put together their all-time offensive, defensive team at each position.
Just going all time, or going back in
just
the 60s?
All time, yeah. Just your number one, your tight end, and your guards, and your tackles, your quarterback, everybody. Who would you pick?
Well, yeah, that's a good one. That's something that we'll talk about. What would be yours? I mean, not all 11, but what would be yours, quarterback?
Well, my quarterback would be Roger.
Yeah.
Emmett's my running back. And my wide receivers are Irvin and Des Bryant and Drew Pearson.
Okay.
And my tight end is Witten. And I'll just go ahead and give you my tackles are Flozell Adams and Rayfield Wright. Stepnoski's my center. Larry Allen and Nate are my guards.
Love it. Not going to lose that many games with that offense for sure.
Well, wouldn't that be great if you could do that and really have that game and was somehow simulated and play the Packers for their all-time Bart Starr or somebody?
Yeah. Now I don't know who they're. Now obviously they get to do that too. And
yeah.
Micah Parsons is probably on there. So
it's just the ultimate fantasy game, and I just thought I'd throw that out to you today. And I hope the storyline backers appreciate what you do, because you even amaze me with your trivia. So you know players that I never even remember.
Yeah, well, that's why I got bad grades in school, right?
No, you didn't get bad grades in school.
Okay,
you can say that.
All right,
you got a college degree, man.
Yeah, that's true. All right. See you later. All right.
Okay.
Bye, Dad. See you.
All right, bye.
Let's go to break here real quick on Storyline. We can come back right after this.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that's sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades in Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. We still got another 10 minutes or so. Trying to pick up the pace, get some callers there. Just got a call there from that was my dad. If you didn't notice that's his name is Tim, but he goes by Dr. Sunshine as well. And we don't have time to go through all the like all-time team, but to me, I mean, no real surprises. It's going to come down to how old you are too, and how many players that you've seen. There's probably not a lot of younger Cowboy fans that are going to sit there and be like Mel Renfro, for sure, Mel Renfro. Which me either, because I never saw him play, but I'm sure he was pretty dang good. He's in the Hall of Fame, and he played safety, corner, did a little bit of everything, so he was good. But for me, I mean, Aikman would be the quarterback, and Aikman and Emmett and Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin and Witten, and then your offensive line. I like Flozell for sure. Stepnoski, Nate, got to go with Nate, Larry Allen, and another tackle, probably Eric Williams. So that's pretty much just that 90s offensive line for sure. All right, let's go to Javon in Huntsville, Texas.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. two things. Just how much do you feel like the defense is struggling based on a lack of buy-in from the defensive players? Because it seems like sometimes they're out of position. How much do we feel like it might be a little bit of hero ball where people are trying to make plays instead of actually playing as a whole unit?
I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, I think that's kind of the world that we're in, you know. I mean, especially when you think about it, you get called up from the practice squad. Here's your chance. You're elevated. You only get elevated 3 times. You get elevated to come in here and play, and you're gonna, you know, you're not trying to go make a play. Yeah, and I don't think it's out of spite. I think people are trying to make plays, but sometimes you go try to make a play and you end up getting in the wrong gap, and it's a 30-yard touchdown. So yeah, I think that happens a lot in the NFL. It happens with this team too.
All yes, right. Sir.
You got anything else? You good?
The other question was, at this point, with where we're at, how much better do you think we would just be if we just start sending the kitchen sink at the quarterback? Just get up there, mug the line.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, that's why I would have liked to have Trayvon Diggs back, Diggs and Bland as your corners, and then just go stack the line and just get after him. You know, that's what they should have done to me with Carolina. That's unthinkable that they didn't just blitz Bryce Young all day long, and he should have won that game, I think. But you know, just stack the line and stack Rico down and just say, all right, just go make plays. And I don't think he would have done it on a consistent basis for sure. But yeah, that's probably where they're at, you know, and we'll see what kind of changes they make. But I do think they're going to have to, you know, get after these quarterbacks, because if you just give them time, they're all going to get open. Receivers get open, the quarterback's going to find it. So you have to help. I think by doing that, it helps your pass rush and your secondary kind of at the same time. And I have a problem with my offensive line that I said, because I don't know. I'm not ready for that yet, because Zach Martin's got to be on there. And I think Tyron Smith's got to be on there. So I need to rethink that a little bit. I might be playing guys out of position. Larry Allen might have to play tackle for me. Sorry, Flo. Love you. I'm good on that. Maybe Tyron Smith, but good backup, though, for sure. All right, Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
How you doing? You calling back again?
I'm all right. Hey.
Didn't you already call in the show? I'm kidding.
Well, you know, I wasn't going to call, and then I had the other Dylan call and was talking about my bones comment, so I had to
gotcha.
had to clarify this bones situation.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. Please clarify.
We have bones, okay, but we got like a collarbone. We got some like phalanges, right? We're missing femurs. We're missing like a rib cage, right? If Overshown can come back, he can be a major part of the defense, right? And I think Bland is important, right? Maybe he's your collarbone. Right. Collarbones are important, I guess. But like, we don't have like a dude like Osa got paid, and he took a discount, so mad credit to him, I guess. But you know, he got paid to kind of be a dude, and he looks like he was a beneficiary of the Micah Parsons effect, like everybody else was. He doesn't look like a guy who's going to take on double teams, which he is right now. He's getting double teamed into oblivion. So I don't know where Kenny Clark is helping out with that. I see him on the ground a lot, unfortunately. But like, I just don't look at this roster, even when healthy, with a lot of guys that you can like count as cornerstone players outside of maybe Bland and Overshown. If Overshown can be just the same guy, even 80% of what he was, he'll still be a stud, I think.
Right.
So hopefully he can come back. But whether they trade for a guy or draft, they need a cornerstone player. They got rid of DeMarcus Lawrence. They got rid of Jay Lou, obviously Micah Parsons. Those were all cornerstone. Maybe not Jay Lou, but Parsons and D-Law were definitely cornerstone-type pieces, and Jay Lou was a really big locker room guy. So they lost all that, and they haven't replaced them, I don't think, unfortunately, just yet. So that's what I'm looking for as far as bones go.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And Overshown would be one of those type of guys. I mean, if you're saying if you're counting, you know, DeMarcus Lawrence and Jordan Lewis in that group, you're not talking about just Pro Bowl guys. You're talking about cornerstones that are leaders that you know set the tone for your defense. Not only how they play, but how they carry themselves. So Overshown would be great at that. And I think Deron Bland, he's not a vocal leader, but I mean he goes out and kind of does his thing. And he's made some plays. He's made some nice tackles this year too, on top of like interception for a pick six and all that. So you've got guys like that. I think Osa would be there, but you know, dogs would be also some guys that you need too. You need some of that, and I think that's what Jordan Lewis was, and they certainly miss him there, in that spot. But you've got to find them. These are third round pick, and he developed them. D-Law, second round pick, he developed them. That's what this team needs, and they have with Deron Bland, but you got to get more of those. You need more of those. All right, Lester in Minnesota will be our last call. Lester, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick, man. Hey, I'll be pretty quick because I got a lot to say, so I'll try tomorrow. But I'll just say a couple things right now. Hey, I think that we need to, as far as the defensive line, all this rotation of the ends, I think we just need to stick to a defensive line of four people, then rotate the other people in as needed. And one other question is BB going to play this week or what are you hearing?
Yeah.
Go Cowboys.
All right. Appreciate it. D-line rotation is always tricky. You would love to have 8 guys and you just go 4 and 4 and just rotate them. And, when the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, excuse me, when they won the Super Bowl, back in the 90s, those guys, they had backup. Leon Lett was backup, and Jimmy Jones and those guys that would just be coming in waves, after Casillas and of course Haley, Tolbert. You had a lot of guys, and that's what you want. But if you don't have, if there's a huge drop off between 1 and 2 and 5, 6, 7, 8, then obviously you're going to have some issues there. And we've seen it. We've seen it when you have guys like Micah and D where you're like, all right, when they're not in there, you're like, wait, what's going on here? Why is the offense going all the way down the field? When they need a break, they certainly need a break. And so figuring out how to do that rotation the right way is always key, because at this point, unfortunately, I don't know there's a big difference between 1 and 8. That's not a good thing. It sounds like it could be if 1, 2, and 3 were really good, and then but that's not the case. And so when they're just rotating to rotate, nothing really changes there. So all right, and then BB, I get the sense he's going to be back. I know he told me last week, hey, I'm going to try to play this game against Denver. Well, that was maybe never in the cards. They shut that down. But with his hopes of playing, and he did some snaps with the first team, and they were rotating. So you would think, if you might have a shot at this game, they hold you back, you got a whole other week and an extra day, and he's needed. They need him. They need him in the center there to kind of help with communication, help with some of these big defensive line fronts. So yeah, I think if he's ready to go. If he's ready, then I think he will. I don't think this is a situation where you say, man, one more game, you got the bye week. Yeah, he could be back, but if we get one more game with the bye week, then they're all coming back. No, I think this is a huge game. If he's ready, go play. Jerry Jones did say this week that he thinks this will be the healthiest that the team has been this year. So that being said, I'm imagining that BB is going to be one of those guys that does come back. All right, good show, guys. We had a little slow start, but we picked it up. Did a nice job with 12 calls, and we'll see if we can do better than that tomorrow. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?